Hi there, folks. How is it going? My name is Rabbit, and thank you so very much for joining me for episode number 22 of our semi-blind run through Eternal Eyes on the PlayStation 1. As I had mentioned at the end of our last episode, I did take care of some business off camera without you all, but you guys already know I love bringing you back and sharing with you everything that did transpire without you. So we're just going to go through some of the more, straightforward, easy peasy things, but I am quite pleased to announce that I was able to figure out some recipes, if you will, that will allow us to not only evolve Raj, but also Haresh. I also was able to figure out, two branching paths for each of those two, but we're not going to get into all of that. We'll kind of talk about that here in just a second. So the first thing that you can actually see is that there were some changes to levels. I know Luke leveled up at least once, and I think Haresh also got one level up, perhaps, maybe two. Not entirely sure. Don't hold me to that. But you guys can kind of do a side-by-side and compare episode 21 to this one, and you can see where the levels are at. But I did want to go ahead and highlight that that is one of the, I wouldn't call it a major change, but it is a change. The next thing is that I ended up acquiring quite a few ornaments for my puppets just in the process of going back. I redid section 1 of this forest twice, as well as section 2 twice. So I didn't go back to the very entrance of the forest, and obviously I did not advance into the Nether regions. Still a hard pause on the name for this next section that we'll be advancing into. But I did not tap into any of that. Just the two middle forests were revisited twice. Didn't take me too long. I honestly blasted on through it, but here are some of the new items that I picked up that I've never seen before, so just to give you an opportunity to see these ridiculous descriptions. So one thing that we found was a party hat, and the description says that it is the sort you wear at a birthday party. I mean, it makes sense. Think happy things and forget about the damage. So I laughed super hard when I saw this. I was having a good time with these descriptions. I can't remember if you guys have seen the tiger mask, but it says that it increases your morale to the limit, decreases the damage with that morale. So pretty normal. I also got a collar of power, a collar that exposes your dormant power. Increase your MP by wearing it. I got a gold bracelet, which I actually think is very lame, and I was surprised that I received this alongside some of these other better pieces of equipment for our puppets, but whatever. Here it is for those of you that are curious about new items that I obtained. It is a bracelet made of gold that does increase your health points. And one more thing. No, maybe that is everything. So just to quickly highlight what I have equipped on everyone, because I did switch some things up a little bit. Oh gosh, not Raj. You guys saw that together. We gave him 2 mustaches, and I'm super pumped about that. I can't believe I doubled down into the mustaches, but we're gonna make it work. Raj is working it. So we do have Abby here, and he received the party hat as well as the star pendant. And Haresh has the tiger mask as well as his tried and true warhammer. It just increases his physical damage so much, I don't feel comfortable stripping him of that right now. But maybe in the future I'll swap that out with something, since we did acquire that far ago in the series. But okay, so that is it for items that I picked up. We talked about the fact that there were some levels that were gained, although I don't remember how many, and everyone outside of Luke and Haresh. I know those two for sure got levels. I just don't remember how many. And it's possible that Raj and or Abby also got 1 level. But who really knows? But what is the important part that I'm just, you guys, I'm shaking. I'm so excited. I have been waiting for so long to figure out how I can evolve Raj and Haresh further. I talked about this in our last episode, and I will say it was very annoying because it took me about 15 minutes of just throwing shit at people, and then obviously when it resets, I don't want to just eat that loss, even if it does increase stats, or it did bolster the actual roster of spells a specific puppet can tap into. So what I did was I would start doing a combination on one person, see how it worked, and if I could even get the sequence to start, channeling, displaying, if you guys know what I'm talking about. So like Abby right now has green started, and if I find the correct next orb and it's sub I guess, element or its sub-attribute, that would then be, I don't know, like another green next to him, assuming that would be a correct sequence to begin stringing together. But anyway, I digress. So the point of me saying all this is it took a while, and I still find this obnoxious that there's not more direction provided, but hopefully this will be helpful to some of you, and it will spare you a little bit of the bullshit that I had to do, especially if you are playing along with me. Maybe you're throwing the same shit at your puppets, maybe you're not, and you're like, bitch, I'm looking this shit up because I ain't gonna be here all fucking day doing this, which, you know, that's fair. But okay, so let's start actually with Haresh. So like I said, there were 2 combinations that I found for both Haresh as well as Raj. We'll just kind of start out and I'll tell you like the branching path, at least that I discovered. I'm sure maybe there will be more options if you have different orbs than I do, but let me just show you what I have. So for red, we have Holy and Wisdom. For green, I only have Beast. For blue, I have Wisdom and Power. For yellow, I only have Beast. I know, my yellow and my green are both a little lackluster. I've also got Holy and Power in my pink category. And finally, with white, we only have Wisdom. White Wisdom, y'all. Come on, game. So again, starting off with Haresh, I am going to use as my base for the sequence the only green orb that I have, which is Green Beast. So let's go ahead and plop this onto our dear friend here. And as you can see, it only increases status. So don't be afraid of that though. You don't have to always prep someone with new magic, especially because if they are so far behind, they're not always going to learn new spells. So after I went ahead and plopped that Green Beast on him, there are 2 things that you can do. I wrote down the one that I'm going to do, but I mean, you're welcome to try something else out if you want. So coming here to the red category, you can use either Holy or Wisdom, and as you can see, as long as he's level 8 or higher, which was eons ago, he will evolve. If you don't want to go the red route, you can. I believe it's blue that also gives him the opportunity to evolve. Yes, that is correct. So this will result in 2 very different puppets. I'm just going to pick Red Holy. I didn't see a difference between Holy and Wisdom at this point, but it is possible that if you are starting out a sequence, it will make a difference in what direction that the puppet is going to evolve, if that makes any sense. But for now, it seems like just as the second and concluding element or the concluding color to the recipe, it doesn't distinguish between Holy or Wisdom in this specific scenario. So anyway, just gonna throw Red Holy on Haresh here, and he is going to turn into Joker. If I had instead opted to use either of my 2 blue orbs that I have, he would have become, I believe, Nightmare is what it was called, and it was that night puppet that we fought back when we were storming through the castle trying to meet up with the princess and hopefully save the king. But as you guys know, it did not work out as intended. So anyway, that is Haresh. Let me just go on to Raj. He's the second one, like I said, that I was able to figure out how to evolve. And we're going to open by doing a pink power. And again, it just says that it's going to increase his status, but that's okay. We will take it as long as it results ultimately in him evolving. And much like Haresh, we have 2 routes that we can go. I personally wrote down for me that I want to utilize blue as the concluding piece of my recipe here. So it doesn't matter if it's Blue Wisdom or Blue Power. Again, perhaps it will matter if you're starting off a sequence, but right now it doesn't make a difference. So you see that the message displays once again that as long as he's level 8, even though he's now level 33, so that absolutely signifies we are so behind the curve, you guys, but it's okay. It is okay. So we can go ahead and use this one, and I don't actually remember if it's red. I think it is red. Yes, it is. If you opt to use, once again, doesn't matter if it's Holy or Wisdom, one of the red orbs here, it will turn into a, I think Fuwawa is what it's called. I think it's Fuwawa, but I am not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to stick to my guns and use Blue Wisdom, and Raj turns into Dogu 1. And that is why I wanted to go ahead and do this one, because we've seen Fuwawa. Even though Fuwawa is cuter, and this is maybe not a good look for Raj, I just thought we'd go ahead and spice things up and have some new puppets that we haven't really seen before. I don't think we've seen Joker, although we had seen Nightmare, so that was also what partially influenced me moving Haresh in that direction. So there you guys go. I'll have to go ahead and re-equip them, but as for our boy, Abi, I was not able, with at least the orbs that I have right now, to figure out what I can involve him into next, but it's okay. We'll go ahead and just give him something. I guess just Red Wisdom will do the trick. He'll learn some new magic, which I would consider a victory. Ignis is what he's got. We'll check that out, as well as how Raj and Haresh's magic menus and magic screens are looking now. But first, let me just quickly go ahead and re-equip folks here. I guess we'll just go ahead and we'll just start from the bottom and work our way up. So we will do Haresh here. And I think Haresh had, was it the tiger mask? I'm trying to remember and talk at the same time. You guys know I'm really bad at that. And of course he had the Warhammer. All right, that's pretty straightforward. So those are his stats now. And Raj, you had, we just looked at this. He had the mustaches. I don't know why. I was like, I don't remember what he had. There's just so much, you guys, and I could have just scrolled from the top and immediately been brought to it. But there you go, his new stat page, now that he is looking beautiful. I cannot wait to see what these puppets look like in battle. I actually did not spoil that for myself and see what the actual sprite looks like. So that will be brand new and blind for me with you. But I had to just share with you guys the changes, and I had to just peep what I could get them to transform into. It would have just taken so fucking long to do that with you. But, okay, let's go ahead and quickly, that's why I was in the status menu. Come on, Rabbit, focus, we're almost done. So, we've got some changes to spells here. We've got Moose Fire and Chicking, so nothing too extraordinary, but we've got Grail, Kamal, Gravito, and Gustoa, I think all of which he had before. Freeze Raid is new. It surrounds the enemy with a blizzard, a medium amount of damage results. So Shan and Icicle, I think also normal. Cure, Termin, and Amidi, I think he had those, honestly. I think the only thing that at least is new in terms of us not having it in the past was this medium grade ability on him. I don't think Raj had that, but again, I don't know. I'm not going to die on that hill. You guys can do the side-by-side comparison if you so choose. So as for Abi, he just learned Ignis, which makes more than one high heat explosion, a medium amount of damage results. I've never seen that before, so that will be kind of cool to check that out with you. And lastly, we've got over here, I don't know if anything new will be here. So it looks like Freeze Raid is the upgraded version of Freeze Ray. Lantern, I don't think that's new either. Execution, here we go. So same effect as Grage. I've never seen Grage before, so I don't know what the spell animation is going to look like, but we will see very shortly. So that's it, you guys. Those are all of the changes that took place without you. Hopefully, this fight here in the Nether regions will go fairly quickly because we spent a very long time looking at all these changes and discussing the evolutionary process. So that's it from me. If you guys have any questions, I don't fully know. I'm blindly trying to figure this out and setting aside the time myself to ascertain what I need to be doing and how I need to be doing it. But I'm happy to share with you guys along my own journey what steps that I am taking so that perhaps you can emulate them yourself. But okay, I just need a second to wrap my head around. I don't really know what to even say. Oops, why would I end my turn? Absolutely not. Oh my gosh, this is very interesting. Maybe Fuwawa, as cute as it was, would have been the better choice. And I don't know if its stats would have been comparable. That is something that is obviously different from puppet to puppet. I didn't do my own comparison or write down shit. I did not have time for all of that. But I think Fuwawa, just in terms of what I would have liked the appearance of more, would have been the better choice. But you know what? Whatever. Like I said, I wanted us to see something new. So there you go. And oh my gosh, this is so crazy. Okay. Well, we can't be here all fucking day. So let's... Woo! It's kind of like when we first saw Abi change and I just needed a minute to figure out what was going on and what I was... Oh! He can't move for fucking shit. Oh, do you guys see this? His range of movement is awful. Not to say that it was ever incredible, but it's garbage now. Oh no, y'all. Well, good thing I saved. You know, we always have the option of reloading and trying something else. I don't want to be a puss, though. I committed to this. I think we can see this through, and I'll get used to it. I mean, hell, I got used to the way Abby looked. Granted, it's all very superficial, and, you know, in terms of his impact on the battlefield, he's wonderful, but I could not get over the way Abby looked for, like, episodes after he made the transformation. And while I'm not a huge fan of the way Raj looks, I think it doesn't hold that many surprises from the actual portrait that we got the glimpse of. Like, I think the way that the sprite is modeled, it accurately reflects what the portrait gives you in terms of, I guess, it being like a sneak peek or a teaser. Whereas Abby's, there was really no way to prepare for him to be this or to look like this. So, you know, I guess this is one of the disadvantages to just blindly evolving puppets before you encounter them in combat. You don't really know what you're gonna get. But, like I said, we'll make it work. It's fine. I think that I will get used to it. And whoa, Freeze Raid is ranged? Do you guys see this? Oh, that's crazy. So for all my shit talking, you know, this isn't going to be a bad spell. It might be a bit of a waste to use it right here on this one little butterfly thing. Oh, which I didn't even look at, you guys. I was so thrown off by our new puppet designs that I'm not even in my normal headspace right now. And he was so happy. What the fuck? Wow. Well, we're gonna take baby steps, Raj, and it'll be okay. Okay, before Abby goes, let's take a second to actually look at stats for these enemies here. We've got Killer Bee, just a normal palette swap from things we've seen before. He has Messiah and Mahammer. Have we seen this one? I don't remember. I might have actually seen it when I redid the number 2 forest, I think. And then this is also a recolor. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but when I went back to the Goondocks, one of these that was green was there. It was a very low level puppet. It wasn't a big deal. Wasn't a fan of how it looked then, and I'm not a fan of it in orange, but his name is Bihi Yup, and he's got Gravito, so nothing amazing. I mean, it's to be expected. Okay, that's it for our assessment of the enemies. I don't really want to use magic on him, but I think I might have to. Can I just move Abby right next to him? Abby, I know you don't do a whole lot of physical damage, but just give him a little paper cut here. Just wiggle a bit. Oh shit, it lived. Really, you guys? Come on. Well, I guess I'll be this person, and I'm just going to surround him, and, you know, 3v1. We can get behind this. And I missed? What an absolute bullshit waste of my fucking turn, you guys. That is infuriating. But it's okay, rabbits. It is okay. We've got some big damage. We're way over-leveled compared to them. We're all in our 30s now, and they're like, what, 25? Was that what all of them were, I believe? So it's okay. They're not going to do anything that's really going to mess with us too much. So, that one was level 26. So they're all in the mid-20s, it seems like. Maybe 1 or 2 of them are a little bit higher, but I don't think 1 or 2 levels will make a huge difference in their favor anyway. But okay, back to our turn. I feel like they went through that hella quick. But all right, Lukey Dookie, let's just get some things going. I'm afraid about just killing all these monsters right here and having these chests populate because, as you can see, it starts to block off the bridge and then it becomes a pain in the ass to get over there, and I'm going to have to spend time actively breaking the boxes, which, you know, it's not going to... Can I not? I can't even physically attack anything in front of me. Do you see the range for Raj and what he can hit? I don't even know what to say. I'm just throwing turns away left and right. Well, no, we're not doing this. You are going to die. I don't even care if this is overkill. I'm going to do it anyway, so eat this. I'm not sure why that's described as... Was that the different version of hammer, I think is what it was? And I'm not sure why, because there's no hammer that's associated with it. Neither my guinea pig nor the actual object. Ha ha ha. Alrighty, let's take a second. Let me cue my shit, and then hopefully I'll finally wrap up one of the millions of stories that I have been telling you guys. Probably the most notable and the most important is that I was sharing with you guys some possible future LP options, which include a few Working Designs titles, but I think one that I would just absolutely love to play, or I shouldn't say one, because, you know, I would play both of them, because I am huge fans. Let's use Execution. Oh, it only attacks one. But just so that we can see a new effect, why not? We've seen neither Grade nor Execution, and that's not what I was expecting from... Wasn't that a red spell? So technically fire, I think, is the elements that usually is associated with the color red. That looked more like an earth ability to me, so I would have expected that to be maybe yellow, possibly green. But I think sometimes they do that where the different versions, they still end up... Ooh, can I even get down there? I don't know. Oh, Lukey Dookie can get down here. I don't think I ever realized that there was like this little side path. Interesting. And before I also forget, let's go ahead and try to use an orb just to see. I don't want to use one that I only have one remaining. So let's do blue power, and it just says that it attacks with magic. So let's give it a try. Is it going to do a random effect? That's very interesting. But I'll be honest with you guys, I don't see that being useful because, in my opinion anyway, and this is just my humble opinion, the orbs are so much better when you are viewing them as an accessory or a component of getting your puppets going. And I say this because even if... Oh, we got a blue W jewel. Very cool. Even if you don't have enough to successfully evolve a puppet, you still can be opening up new magic options and magic abilities for them, in addition to possibly just raising base stats. Granted, those stats being raised, it's usually not anything mind-blowing, but I feel like to use it one time and to consume the orb so that an ability can be executed from Luke versus having some sort of permanent change, regardless of whether it is a small change or not. I don't know. To me, those don't weigh evenly. Unless Luke using the orbs doesn't consume them, or maybe you can use them multiple times and then they'll randomly break. Let's go ahead and check that out. I guess before I start criticizing this mechanic, we should really make sure that we know how it works. So let's go back to jewels, and it was blue. Did we use blue power? We did use blue power, and it's just gone. You guys, I don't like that. I wouldn't say that it seems useless, but it seems like an unwise choice unless you're just at the end of the game and you've got a bunch of them and your puppets are, let's say, already at max form and there's just nothing really else that you want to do with them. Or maybe if you're even in the final battle and with where you're at, you're just like, you know what? We're just going to use all of them because why not? I guess in those cases, or in that, I guess that's one specific case. I don't know. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it, and I can't think of a moment where it would make sense outside of you being either in the last fight. Okay, so yeah, I guess I did give you two scenarios. Either you being in the final battle, or all of your puppets already maxed out on stats and maxed out on what spells they can learn. Or just in general, they're at their max form, maybe. I don't know. Very weird. I think that would have worked, and I would feel better about it if Luke didn't consume it, because then it feels like it would be kind of valuable, or if it had a certain number of uses before it just randomly shattered or something. And those, I think with those added to the mechanic, it would make it feel more rewarding to use it, and maybe even it would bring about more of a strategic piece to it. Like you kind of weigh, do I want to risk it for the biscuit and use this really good orb that I want to possibly later use for evolving / merging or whatever? Or do I want to try to just right now use the power of whatever this orb is? I don't know. I think I think there are better ways they could have done that, is really the long story short. But anyway, doesn't really matter. We got through that fight with relative ease and a whole lot of my delayed reactions because I'm still so thrown off trying to become newly acclimated to Raj and how he functions, as well as, I mean, Haresh is pretty much the same. This model and this puppet is exceptionally similar to the little ghost form that he was way back at the start. I don't know if you guys even remember that. Before he turned into the bat, he was like a ghost thing. And I think this puppet is very similar in its functionality in terms of how it moves, in the sense that it disappears and then reappears somewhere else. I don't feel Haresh plays very differently from what I had been doing, but Raj does. So we're gonna see how many episodes it takes me to kind of get my head in the game here and wrap myself around and wrap my thoughts, I guess, around how to properly play with this new team of puppets. This is really interesting, you guys. But okay, thank you very much for watching. Maybe I need to just take a second and have like a nice little cup of tea. I don't know why these changes throw me off so significantly, but for whatever reason, it's jarring, I think, visually, and it's jarring to my senses as I'm navigating through gameplay. For whatever reason, maybe I'm not an adaptable gamer. This is why I don't play a lot of action games or platformer games. This is why, because just changing how a simple puppet looks and how it functions just rocks my world, and I'm like wide-eyed trying to just get my shit together, just to be blunt. But we'll take a second, and when we come back together in episode number 23, I will be refreshed. I will be hopefully loving Raj a little bit more. I think I'm also maybe part of my apprehension to just be like, yeah, it's fine, let's roll with it, and, just move forward, is that Fuwawa was the other option for what I could have evolved folks into, and I don't know if I would have enjoyed Fuwawa more necessarily. I mean, maybe it would have played kind of stilted, and outside of the appearance of Fuwawa, I wouldn't have loved that puppet, but I'm not sold on this Dogu one yet, but we'll see. Anyway, when we come back together in episode number 23, did I already say this? We will be ready to head into the Nether regions number 2. Whoa, if we already tapped into the first set of Nether regions, this is like, we're going in deep, you guys. But hey, Luke is one who enjoys going deep. So take care, everyone. Be good. And I, your host Rabbit, am so grateful to have you guys here along for my semi-blind Let's Play of Eternal Eyes here on the PlayStation 1. So I'll see you all in just a moment.